booties for black girl nerds.
How are you guys doing today?
Amazing.
Hi, Shalise.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for taking some time out of your busy schedules to speak with me. I really, really appreciate it.
Of course.
Awesome. Well, going into the second season, what are some things that you guys feel really worked with the first season that you guys wanted to transition into the second one?
I'll jump in. I think that the two things that come immediately to mind are our gorgeous cast of Pretty Little Liars, and that friend group. I think without a doubt, the franchise is those girls sitting together, talking about what the hell is happening to them and what they can do and how they can help each other and how it's them against the world. That for sure. And then I think the other big surprise, and we felt this, but it was nice that the fans confirmed it. They love the slasher horror elements from season one. And we always believed in that. I think some of our executives, which have been so supportive, were like, oh, hopefully this will connect. And it did. So we knew that in terms of season two of the stars, the guiding stars we would be following are those girls together, and then the slasher horror elements, like that, those set our show apart from other kind of YA shows or shows in this space.
That actually really answers my second question, because my next question was like how spinoffs and sequels can kind of be tricky. Like either sometimes they really work or sometimes they flop. But PLL has such a large fan base and such a large following that just keep coming back for more, no matter what the scene looks like. And what do you guys think it is specifically about PLL that is what brings them back?
I think we're all such big fans of the original show, and I think there was such a juiciness there. I do think people love a mystery, and we are a horror show, we are a YA show, but we are much like the original. We are a mystery driven as well, and I think hanging on to a mystery. Me as an audience member, I'm the worst person to watch any show with. One episode in, I'm like, I think I know who did it because this happened, and I saw this post-it note on a window. So I think people do love to deputize themselves as detectives when they're watching a really great mystery, and I definitely think that's something that brings you back for more. And we wanted to push that as well. Season two, season one was horror, was YA, was these girls coming together in their sisterhood, and also there was a mystery. Who is A, who's pulling A strings, and season two we do have this new villain. I dare say a scarier villain, a gorier villain, and the big question is, who is she? And that is going to be something that drives us week to week.
Nice, nice. And Sharon, I have to ask you, you're working with such a talented young cast of young actors and actresses. Were there any moments where they were like, wow, I'm in the midst of working with a cult following of a show. This is going to propel my career. Like, did they really know what they were getting themselves into by signing up for this series?
Oh, I think so. I think why it was very apparent that they were all giant fans of the first, installment, and that alone, that I'm sure there were lots of actresses clamoring for a spot, just because of how popular the show is, and they have a lot on their plate, and I'm very impressed with just the professionalism, and it's a lot of dialogue. I know the Tabitha, played by Chandler, plays the daughter. She's got. I'm just like, I don't know how you do it. She just her dialogue and all the referencing and the homage to all the films and just and the way she's able to it's like a steel trap. It's so impressive. And so yeah, I think everybody from what I gather just knows, what an amazing show this is, and are happy to be there, and are doing great work.
Yeah, and also shout out to whoever the costume designer is, because the
Charlotte.
outfits,
Yeah.
oh, God, they're just the outfits are just so good, and immediately it reminded me of Spice Girls. Everyone has their own identity, right? Granted, when I was in high school and stuff, I didn't have the money to just have this amount of layers of
Yeah.
clothing.
They
But
do a lot of thrifting. They do a lot of
They go
thrifting.
thrifting in
Yeah, they
Millwood.
sew their own clothes.
yeah, no, their clothing is just is great. But in regard to something else that it really gave me a I felt was not inspired, but it gave me vibes of I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh yeah,
And so I want to ask all three of you guys if you guys could go and be a part of a remake. Kind of like I think that they're working on a How I Know What You Did Last Summer remake, but if you guys could all go back and be part of a remake or currently be part of a remake, what would
Ooh,
it be?
that's such a good question.
You know what? I have one, and it's going to sound wild. Disturbing behavior. So disturbing behavior was sort of in 1998. It was almost like a take on the Stepford Wives or the Stepford Children, but it was like there's something wrong with these teenagers and this like late 90s high school. And I've always felt that's like really ripe for a remake, for a really fun remake. I love that movie.
Roberto?
Gosh, for me, I mean, it's funny. I grew up in Washington, D.C., where The Exorcist was set. That would always be like a dream project. I know they just remade it, so the other movie that I love is horror movie is and they remade this too, not successfully. Was The Fog. I love The Fog, and like, and so it's like, so those are my two that come off the. Some movies are so good, like you don't even want to go there. And I worked on the Carrie remake. We shouldn't have done it. Like we shouldn't have done it. Like it was the original was pretty good. We didn't have to do that. Like we didn't have to do that. Sharon, what's yours?
Oh gosh. So I'm a chicken, just so you know. I get very scared. Lindsay knows, they turn the lights off. And I remember when A was on set and I was like, screaming. And so I like horror films, but I am definitely like a bit of a baby and a chicken. But I remember I'm old enough to have seen a double showing of E.T. And Poltergeist. So Poltergeist, because I did really enjoy that film. It really stuck with me. So maybe a reinstallment.
Oh, that's so cool.
Those are all really good, really, really good answers. I personally would love to see like a What About Bob or a Three Amigos redone.
Yeah, we were sticking to the horror genre.
I'm just thinking but I'm so excited for everyone, for the fans and everyone to see the second season. It was great. And you guys just did a phenomenal job with it. So thank you guys so much for speaking with me today. I really, really appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
You guys have a great day.
You too.
Hi, Shalise. How are you?
I am awesome. It's been an interesting morning, but I'm here. I'm excited. Yes.
A good interesting or?
No, I have a bridge that fell out. This might be TMI, but I have a bridge.
Oh no.
Dentist. Had to run to the dentist, get it re-cemented, and be back in time to do these guys. I'm so excited to talk to you guys.
Oh, did you have to have like pain, like numb thing? The needle?
Little. I requested just the numbing gel, so I didn't sound like whoa.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
dental work is dental trauma. You should see a therapist for that.
You should call Annabeth to work through this. She can help you.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for taking some time to speak with me today. So obviously, spinoffs and sequels can be a bit tricky, right? Like sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But PLL has such a large fan base and they keep coming back for more. What do you guys think it is that draws fans to this show, to the series?
Having been in the original Pretty Little Liars and being able to jump then into the new iteration of Pretty Little Liars, I can speak to the fact that as both a person in the show and a fan of it, I think what they've done with this iteration is it has all of the same elements of core group women, strong, different, aware, but yet in heightened circumstances. And then, you have these young women in these crazy situations, but still honestly facing their fears, Does that make any sense?
That makes
sense. No, and that actually perfectly leads me to my next question, Ms. Annabeth. What was it like returning for this?
It was a blessing, really, and what an honor because, I mean, getting to work, and it's authentic too. I'm not just like blowing anybody any smoke, but like I really do love these women. They're what they've done with this new show. The cast themselves is a tight group, hardworking, and it's fun. I had a blast. Truly, from like
Have fun.
shooting in Beacon and sitting and eating yogurt
I
at the
know.
hotel and the hotel steps in between, like at night, and
She'd hear me on my treadmill and be
yeah,
like, I know you're on your treadmill.
yeah, I can hear you. It was just like sorority sisters or something, but yet also a kind of a motherly hen
Mhm.
figure. Just really an honor, and I love these women.
Nice. And Bailee, for you, you're such a talented young actress. Like I'm gonna have to bring this up because I'd be crazy if I didn't. Brothers came out in 2009 when I graduated high school. The
Yeah.
amount of times I've said, "You're only mad because mommy rather sleep with Uncle Tommy than you."
Yeah.
Like, so many times. So if I didn't bring that up right now, it would be a sin. But
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
what was your thought when you got asked to do the series and you're like, wow, I'm gonna be like attached like a like cult following of a show? Like what was your initial reaction when you got that call?
Oh, I genuinely cried like the happiest tears. I had been, I feel like, in like a flux of really desperately wanting to do something that brought joy. And I had read some scripts that like had excited me and gotten, conversations about them. But then I remember PLL came and I met with Roberto and Lindsay, and then I did a very long Zoom where we just tried the scenes like it was like throwing eggs at a wall
Yeah.
to see like what would stick. And I had to wait a good 3 weeks to find out
Oh,
if our friends at Max would approve me. And I like got no sleep. I stayed up. I rewatched the
You
original. I was the
cared.
biggest fan. I
you
cared
cared.
so much. And I was like, if this doesn't work out, this is actually gonna break my heart. And so it was just such an honor. And I remember being 14 and watching the original and being like, one day when I'm in my 20s, I hope I get to do a show like this. I wanted to do long hours. I wanted to experience so many materials and emotions at once and go through that dynamic. So never in my wildest dreams did I think I would be able to be a part of a show of the same name and of the same universe. So
And you carry it so well.
thank
You
you.
really
Love
do.
you very much.
No,
It's an
I mean
honor.
it.
I
And
do love this show.
this particular season actually reminds me, it gives me I Know What You Did Last Summer vibes.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to know if you guys can go and be in any like remake of a show or a movie, what would you guys select and why?
Oy vey.
That's so good. I don't know.
Mm.
I'm on like such a Succession kick that I like want to be Shiv.
Oh yeah.
So
What a
badly.
fierce character. Yeah.
What a character. I just
Yes.
want to be able to look at men and be like,
I'll eat you for breakfast.
yeah. I just think it's so great. I don't know. Can you think of it's always these questions that stump me.
Yeah.
And it's like because you
same.
have to go back and think about all these movies in the past. You're like, oh, there's so
I
many.
know.
Yeah.
I'm like, who wouldn't want to be like Sandra Bullock in The Proposal and be a part of that rom-com? Like who wouldn't, there's
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I feel like that you probably could do that. You could remake that right now. Yeah.
For sure. I mean, I love Ryan Reynolds. Who wouldn't want to see another one of those?
Yeah.
And my last question, this show is all about like hipness and like being like in the moment. The style. Can you guys talk to me about the style and the clothing that was like, what were the ideas around for that? Because I love the fits. They are giving.
Oh, Charlotte's our incredible costume designer.
Yep.
She had an amazing team. She stepped in with us in the second season, which is such a daunting task. I feel like we had an amazing crew last year, but we had pretty much a new slate this year, and they were obviously stepping into unknown territory. We had the luxury at least of knowing each other, and they just continuously blew our minds away. I think Charlotte also wanted to make sure that we felt really comfortable. This is like the first time that I've ever been in like a swimsuit and like been on set walking around like that. And so there was such a level of protection and wanting her. She wanted to always make sure that we felt empowered in the clothes that we were wearing.
Huge.
So to have that safety
So huge.
was so beautiful, and she's so gifted. And Stanley, our DP, was like phenomenal.
Yeah, I think Roberto and Lindsay talked about this too, just about how every detail,
Yeah.
the production design, the props, the fits, everything had this retro hue
Mhm.
and kind of an homage to a timelessness and the
Mhm.
80s kind of, I think the fashion in the original Pretty Little Liars was such an iconic part of the show, as this is as well, but with a different subtle hue.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
feels accessible, which is
Yes,
nice.
yes.
Um,
Yeah, it's not high fashion, it's more, yeah.
it's just like, but it's all of them are so uniquely them.
Yeah.
And they craft a character, it's we get to put on those clothes every day and sit in hair and makeup, and it's like, even if you get to feel as if you are them. And so it takes a village, and our village was incredible. We were very, very lucky.
Well, it came out fantastic. I absolutely loved it. I can't wait for people to see it. There's only a short wait for it to come out for everyone else to see it. But thank you guys so much for taking some time to speak with me today. I really appreciate it. And I can't wait to see what you guys do next.
Thank
Take
you.
care
I
of
hope
your
your
branch.
Yeah.
Hi,
So
Lily. Nice to
good.
meet you.
I love what's going on in the background.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you. I love when people say that. It makes me happy because I take my time picking.
Thick.
Strategically pick what I put back there.
Love.
Well, thank you guys so much for talking with me today. So I'll just jump into it. Spin-offs and sequels can be pretty tricky, right, guys? Like sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. But in your case, PLL has been very successful and continues to have a massive fan base. What do you guys think it is about it that brings people in every single time?
I mean, first of all, it's a huge honor for all of us to be a part of such an iconic franchise. I was a huge fan of the original, and it's still surreal to read all of our names after Pretty Little Liars. But I think what makes our show so special is that Roberto and Lindsay did such a wonderful job with finding what our own identity was, still paying homage to the original, while still flipping it on its head and making it a campy horror, fun show, completely different to what the original was, and while still being true to the DNA that makes it Pretty Little Liars.
Yeah.
And this season specifically, we've heightened every single aspect of the first that we all loved. It's heightened. There's more kills, there's more blood, there's more love, there's sexy scenes, sexy people. It's everything that I think makes Pretty Little Liars Original Sin and Pretty Little Liars Summer School its own thing. It's been heightened, and it's very special to be a part of.
Yeah, I think like Roberto and Lindsay have mentioned to us that they've watched a lot of like the sequels for classic horrors, and I think the sequel can be better than the original at times. And you know, they've already done such a good job. We've all done such a good job at making people like fall in love and empathize with our characters, and so now we just gotta like flesh it out a bit more. Like the girls gotta like talk shit.
Yeah, we got to like bicker.
I know, it's fun.
There's
It's like
really fun scenes.
and of course, like all of our love interests, like we gotta kind of fall deeper into that, and we have some really cool new people that are introduced that I think really make season 2 as special as it is, and I can't wait for everyone to see that.
Yeah, no, it is very different, like you said, from the others. And speaking of that aspect, talk to me a little bit about the style. Jordan, I'll start with you. Talk to me about the style and the clothing, because it definitely pops. Like it kind of reminds me of like how everyone has their own identity, like how Spice Girls, everyone had like their own person. And I think that really showed really very much in this season. So can you guys talk to me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think, high school, how you identify is really you outwardly show it through your clothing. And so I think, it's something that we've all talked about is how everyone does have their own DNA of style. And that is unique to our show in particular, because usually everyone lives in this one world and this one time. But everyone on this show lives in a different time. They live in a different genre of clothing. And it's really to say that like that is an outward expression of who they are. When it comes to Ash, we did a lot of like exploring of what breaking down his typical rigid leather, dark clothing, black boots would look like in summertime. And to me, it was like more of an evolution of him coming into himself and being more comfortable with who he is, and therefore being comfortable playing with clothing that is bright, being comfortable with like maybe not caring so much about like what he is wearing and putting different things together, because he is now much more comfortable in who he is. Therefore, he doesn't have to do this stereotype of what he thinks like a traditional, like old school classic man has to look like.
Right.
Period.
That's a very, very good answer. Did you girls have fun playing with the style as well?
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, Mouse got to show like her midriff, which was crazy. I mean, but that's like a less eloquent way of putting it. But I think similarly to Jordan, like Mouse had been sheltered by her moms in such a way, we talk a lot about season 1, her wearing like basically kids' clothes and things that her mom's knitted for her, and it was kind of like her shackles in a way. And this season, she gets to like have, as hot of a girl summer as you can when there's like a killer on the loose. But yeah, it's been really fun. I see her like start to mirror the other girls while still staying true to herself and like embracing her body and like things like that. That is the exciting part about being 16.
And then this particular season gave me major I Know What You Did Last Summer vibes when mixing
Oh,
and summer. So I want to know from you guys, what is a film or show that you guys wish you can go back and like be a part of a remake too?
oh my gosh, a remake.
Mhm.
That's a good one.
That's such a good question. I mean, this is not a remake. This is probably not the answer at all that I should give, but I would love to be in the like Maxine X universe.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
I love that
That's a
universe.
good one. That is a really good one.
I feel like I could speak for me and Jordan. Like, I don't know if I feel like it falls in the subgenre of horror, but if Donnie Darko were to do a remake, we'd both have to be a part of it. Like, we both have to. We've bonded so much over that film, so.
I actually, yeah, no, that's Jordan. Yeah, go ahead. Because were you gonna say Donnie Darko? Is that?
Yeah, it's like one of my favorite films of all time.
Yeah, it
That's
was
so
like one of
funny.
the first things we connected over.
That's so funny you say that because I was actually gonna reference how like sometimes the remakes aren't bad. Like some people are like, oh, I don't really do remakes, but Roadhouse, I loved Roadhouse since we were on topic of Jake Gyllenhaal. I actually really like Roadhouse a lot. So I sometimes see how that can be how the remake can also be its own thing. But
Totally.
the Donnie Darko like remake, wow, that is we
Come
can
on.
speak this for you guys. We're gonna manifest that for you guys.
Yeah.
Well,
100%.
I'm really excited to get to talk to you guys today. Thank you guys so much.
Thank
And
you.
everyone to get to see this season. It's awesome. Obviously can't talk about the spoilers and whatnot, but I'm so good for everyone to see it. So thank you guys so much again.
Thank you
Thank you so much.
Hi, good. How are you?
Hi, I am doing fantastic. Thank you guys so much for taking some time to speak with me today. I really appreciate it.
Right back at you.
Awesome. Well, I'll jump right into it. So as we know, spinoffs and sequels and whatnot can be a little tricky to tackle, right, guys? What do you feel it is about PLL that really brings in the people and the continued viewers and the loyalty that they have, the fan base has to the series?
Oh,
No, you go.
no, I was just gonna say, I feel as though it is so true that it's a reimagination of and it also operates honoring the seasons before, honoring the series before, and honoring the characters that existed, and really just living in the same universe, operating in the same type of world, and a new world in the same universe. And so I'm really honored to be a part of that. I'm really honored to, have any stake in the fandom. It's
Yeah.
so cool. Everyone is so funny and fun to interact with. So I just feel so fortunate to stand on the shoulders of giants, really.
Likewise.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think for me growing up watching the original series, it was definitely the mystery element is what keeps you coming back. There's so many rabbit holes you can go down.
Yeah.
There's such camaraderie with coming up with theories, and our show definitely has that element to it too, where you just might be able to figure it out if you watch it enough and if you pay attention enough. And so that's really intriguing for a viewer to try and figure out the mystery themselves.
Yeah.
For my generation, what would be equivalent to Pretty Little Liars is Gossip Girl. And the outfits that you guys have on right now have given me very much Gossip Girl vibes. I love it.
Thank you. Yeah.
How fun was it to dress up? Because the outfits in this particular season they're just next level. They kind of give me like Spice Girl vibes where it's like everyone has their own identity. So how much fun was it to dress up in this particular season?
So incredible. Charlotte, our costume designer, just really knocked it out of the park.
Whoa!
Yes, she did.
Thanks.
Did. I was saying earlier, I was nervous when I found out my plot that I was going to be in, church wear, and I'm just obsessed with my wardrobe. She's playing with the preppiness, but also Kelly's personality is in there. There's some heels, and we're still playing with the pink and the blue of it all. Is it more Karen? Is it more Kelly? And gosh, I just love showing up and seeing what I'm wearing. It's always a fun surprise when you show up on set. Which one got chosen?
Exactly. And the fittings, I'll have to say, like, the fittings with Charlotte have just been such a collaborative and honest process. And I feel so supported by her in those. And I feel as though it allows my character to really just be, you know what I mean? And I feel like it's an element that often gets overlooked in the important role that it plays on set, because, you know, what we show up in has so much to do with our character and so much to do with our story and so much to do with where we're at. And it's the unsaid thing that is in every scene, you know, is what are you wearing? How did you show up? How do you want the world to see you? So yeah, we love a good costume.
No, I definitely feel like it's fun to be able to play with your look and your identity and everyone's individualist. So in that regard, you guys are such young, talented actresses, right? And I was very curious to know what was it like when you got that call? Because everyone wants to be associated with like a massive, like a Twilight or a Harry Potter or something that comes with its own fan base, like a cult following. What was y'all's initial reaction, like getting the call to be a part of this series and this world?
I went into complete shock. I had imagined the moment so much because it was about a month difference, I think, from my initial audition to when I found out that I got it. And so when the actual words were being said to me, I didn't even cry at first. Like I truly didn't believe it. And then later it hit me. I remember I couldn't get a hold of anybody too. I'm calling my family and everyone was busy. So I really like just sat with the information for a while, but
that's amazing.
Shock. I tend to go into shock.
Yeah.
That's a coping mechanism of mine.
I was actually taping with my acting coach, and funny story about my acting coach. He saw me on stage one day. He said, "I think you're so..." These are his words. He said, "I think..." I'm not just saying it. He said, "I think you're so brilliant. I want to coach you until you book your first big thing." And that is so huge because self-taping and everything really just adds up as an actor. And coach, and yeah, the work that he puts in and pours into me is just unreal. And I just find it as such a blessing that I was in there taping. I got a call. Normally when you get the call with your manager, your agent, when it's a group call, they don't group call you when it's bad news.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. So I put it on speaker.
Sorry.
And they told me I got it. And I was a bit in shock too. But then I saw his face and he got beet red and he just started sobbing. And yeah, it just like, it gives me chills to this day because it's something I'll hold in my heart forever. And yeah, he still coaches me to this day. So I feel very fortunate for that.
Oh, well, that's nice. Well, in this case, maybe this will transition into your careers. I always like to know. So this last season just gave me real like vibes like of I know what you did last summer. And I really want to know if you guys can go back and be a part of any, like a remake, if they were to bring back an old film or TV show, what would you guys love to be a part of?
Scary movie, the Wayans brothers, if you're watching this. Yeah, I know that it doesn't technically count because, well, maybe it does because it's not very scary, but it is so my type of scary movie. And it's actually how I play Faran is like, she just plays into like the camp of everything.
Yeah.
And it was like one of the very first scary things I saw when I was younger. And Regina Hall cracks me up. And yeah, that's the one.
She's amazing.
She's so funny. Oh my gosh. Those are the days. Okay.
I think mine, if they were going to do this for a little bit, the movie adaptation, it's like sort of a remake of the Heathers musical.
Okay.
I would love to be a part of that.
Manifesting.
Here.
I'd love to be a part
and
of
available.
I think there are multiple roles I could maybe fit into, you know.
Well,
I'll take any of the Heathers.
I'm big on manifesting, so I'm glad that you guys brought that up and spoken into existence. But I am getting the wraps. I definitely appreciate your time, and I can't wait to see what you ladies do in your future careers.
The same right back at you. This was so fun.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
shake your booties for black girl nerds.